Welcome to the Biz Bash podcast, where we make biz strategy a piece of cake. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cami, but you might know us better as Eliza Ann Calligraphy and Cami Monet. We want to help you, our fellow stationers, artists, and calligraphers, confidently build a profitable and personality-driven creative biz.
We're here to share our honest-to-goodness advice and actionable strategies for ambitious artists.
So put on your party hat, quit being a procrastinator gator, and let's get this party started.
Welcome back, Biz Bash Babes, for episode 69. We are so excited to have Kristen Boss of Becoming Boss with us today to talk about, is making money a good enough purpose? Y'all, this is going to be so good. This is something I know that I struggle with a lot, and I'm sure that all of you guys are probably dealing with the same thing, trying to balance that passion, trying to make money, just trying to figure it all out. So Kristen, we're so excited to have you, and a little bit about Kristen real quick. She's a mindset and business coach who specializes in helping women build their influence and grow successful businesses that deeply align with their purpose. With nearly 15 years experience working in service and marketing, she's pivoted from celebrity hairstylist to boutique owner to business coach. And with her experience of creating businesses from scratch, she's now helping other women tap into their highest self and true potential. And when she's not coaching, you can find Kristen hanging with her kids and her husband in the awesome state of Colorado, my home state, y'all. So Kristen, welcome. We could not be more excited to have you on air today to talk to you about this.
Thanks, guys. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, and
Woohoo!
honestly, your last name, I mean, this is just magical. Like, what a magical last name for an entrepreneur.
It's a lot to live up to.
Yeah, I can see that, but it really worked out well for you.
It's free marketing. It's great.
Yeah. Do people ever ask you if that's your real name?
Oh, every time, especially since I've entered more of the coaching world and entrepreneurial world. Yes.
And I do. Yeah, I'm so curious because that was one of my questions. I was like, is that real? Like, I totally thought that. Mm-hmm. So I'm so curious for the roots of that name. Do you know like the history on it?
Like the actual last name Boss?
Yes.
I've heard it's German. I would have to know from like my husband's side of the family, but I've heard it's like has German heritage. So I don't know much else other than I didn't think twice about it when I married him. And now I'm like, well, this worked out real nice.
Real nice.
Oh, absolutely amazing. I know it fits perfectly. And tell us too, Kristen. So you live in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and you have 2 kids. Is that what you had said earlier?
Yes. I've got toddlers. They're 15 months apart, ages 3 and 4. So busy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you're also balancing motherhood, obviously, with the challenges of entrepreneurship. And so I'm sure you'll probably be able to give some insight with that too, especially I feel like once you become a mom, I'm not there yet, but then your purpose is really, you're trying to like find out that balance between like, is it raising my kids? Is it running my business? Like, what is even going on? So let's go ahead and just start with one of the first questions we have for you. We would love to hear, what is the difference between someone's why and their purpose?
Yeah, this is my favorite. So this is really big in the entrepreneurial world and the social selling world where they say, have a strong why, it starts with why. Simon Sinek even says it starts with why. But when I typically ask people what their why is, they say like, well, I want time freedom. I want more choices. I want to name my own hours. I want to retire my husband from my 9 to 5. I want to leave my corporate job. I want to remodel a house. I want to move. I want to travel. Those are all really great things. But where I challenge people, I say, that's not a why. That's an outcome. And honestly, when we set out for business, we can have outcomes. But the problem is I work with a lot of people that reach those outcomes. And then what happens is they have an identity crisis. They end up saying, okay, I'm here, but why? Am I really doing what I love doing? When it became chasing the outcome, the goal, money, they get to a place where they're starting to question, is this what I really love? Is this deeply fulfilling for me? And it's very easy to get into burnout mode, hyperproductivity, workaholic, because you're so outcome forced rather than process and rather than operating from your purpose. So your why, it can't be outcome driven. It needs to actually be from your purpose. And your purpose is what kind of keeps you in the game for the long run. Because let's say if you start with an outcome, if that's your why, and you're not reaching that outcome or that goal quickly, that's where we tend to check out and we start to doubt ourselves and not enjoy our business or start to feel like maybe we're not cut out from this. However, if you're operating from purpose, and that's something, your purpose is what brings you joy, what naturally energizes you, what fills your cup. It's something that you would do for free. Purpose is your contribution to the world and meeting a problem that needs to be solved, but it's a problem you love solving. It's what you do for free. So if you bring purpose into your business, what you would do for free, it makes it so much more enjoyable and it makes you more resilient in the good and the bad times. So operating from purpose is a far more sustainable and joyful way of running business.
So good. I'm just over here like nodding my head.
I know. So what I hear from that too is like the why is almost like a short-term goal, and then a purpose is like long-term kind of thing. Like where your why can constantly be changing, but your purpose is like always solid. Is that another way of looking at it?
Yeah, it is. And honestly, another good indicator of a why is like, is your why really an outcome? Is it really a goal? And a good why is, Simon Sinek says this as well. He says, people don't buy what you do until they know why you do it. And people don't want to buy something from you just to see you tote around a new car. They want to buy something from you because they really love how you show up in the world and your mission statement and your core values and how you serve people. And they say, yes, that aligns with me. I like that. I want to buy from her because I care or I resonate with why she chooses to show up each day.
I love that.
Yeah, and I was gonna say Cami has like learned to rock this so well in her business because I feel like you're just having fun, and I feel like Cami's purpose is just to like bring joy with paper goods and bring joy with fun products, and I don't feel like that's ever going to like die out, Cami, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely, that makes sense to me.
I'm still struggling with my purpose though, so
this episode's for Elizabeth.
Just so you know, discovering your purpose, that's hard work. It's messy work. And I have to warn people, I'm like, it's going to feel really muddy before it gets clear.
What are some strategic ways that you can help uncover your purpose or just like have some clarity on what that looks like for yourself?
Yeah. So I tell people to kind of get out a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle, and on one side have like, this energizes me, this fills my cup. And then on the other side, like, this drains me, this empties my cup, and really getting clear about like what invigorates you, and also do some evaluation. Look at some patterns in your life and ask yourself, what have I been the go-to girl for? When people call me, what are they asking of me? Because this is how the world or people who know you perceive you to be a problem solver in some area. And the truth is, we all have huge blind spots around the things we're naturally good at because we assume it comes so naturally to us, we don't realize how helpful that is to others. And so it would help if you call family, friends, people who know you well and say, hey, what am I good at? And what problem, like if I was a go-to girl for something, what would it be? And then when they answer that, ask yourself, does that fill my cup? Does that energize me? And that's likely your purpose is somewhere in there.
Oh, that's really good advice because I think, especially as creative business owners, we do this with our brand a lot. Like we'll ask other creatives, we're like, what are some words to describe my brand? Like, what do you think of when you think of my business? Can you give me descriptors for that? But we don't often think of asking family and friends for descriptors about ourselves to like dig into that first before moving into our businesses.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, that is so true. Like maybe we need to start with asking questions about ourselves instead of being like, well, what does my brand look like to you? Because obviously as creative business owners too, like we're so intertwined with our business. And it's like, I think even more so with like art, being an artist, like it's even more an extension of yourself so much more than something, that's a little bit more removed. So this is like especially crucial for us as artists.
Oh, yeah. This is where self-awareness and doing that inner work is so key to having a strong foundation in your business.
Hey guys, we just wanted to hop in and talk about one of our amazing resources, the A to Z directory. All of us have thought at some point, how did she do that or how did she make that? And maybe you don't know where to start or how the heck to produce this amazing product you've dreamt up.
Well, the A to Z directory is the missing puzzle piece in your biz, you guys, seriously. So it's built in the form of a yearly membership, and it's your one-stop shop for finding suppliers and vendors for all the things. Literally where to print everything from custom invitations, greeting cards, mugs, koozies, acrylic printing, letterpress, custom ribbon. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it literally goes from A to Z. From acrylic printers to zipper pouches, we have it in the A to Z directory.
We want to help all of you search less and create more with this list of 300 plus vendors and suppliers. Don't worry, they're very organized. It's not going to be overwhelming and confusing when you join. And this membership also includes access to a private Facebook community. It's incredibly active and involved. And if you need a question answered fast, that is definitely the place to go.
Yeah, our Facebook group really is the best. You guys, everyone is so helpful in there. And we're in there too, answering questions you guys might have. So it's a great way to get access to us and ask us things without sliding into our DMs. So we're more likely to answer you in the Facebook group, just saying. Anyway, also in the Facebook group, this is new for 2020 and we're really excited about it. We are hosting monthly Power Hour Q&A sessions that are live, and these are only available to our A to Z directory members. So you can hop in with us live and ask us all your burning questions in real time and just hang out with us every month. And we do these at different times so you can actually be there live, and the replays are always available in the Facebook group for members.
This resource is priced at $147 a year, which honestly is extremely affordable and is full of so many benefits, such as exclusive vendor coupons for members only. And we would love to have you guys join. Seriously, it's kind of like our family and our tribe. So visit bizbirthdaybash.com/directory to sign up today and use coupon code podcast2020 to receive $20 off your first year. That's podcast, all caps, 2020 for $20 off your first year.
We can't wait to see you in the Facebook group.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in with like the big question. Is making money a good enough purpose for someone?
Nope. And I'll tell you why. And I know that's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm an Enneagram 3 and we're known for being extremely like money driven, like productivity and goal-getters and all those things. But money is empty at the end of the day when you do not feel joy or purpose or a sense of purpose in your work. And I know this because these are the people that hire me to work with them. They are those six-figure earners that are making phenomenal money and they're asking themselves, is this it? What now? What next? Because they haven't operated from purpose. So I believe when you are deeply operating from purpose, when you are setting out to bless and serve people from your purpose, you get paid. When you solve someone's problem, they thank you by giving you money. And so I believe the more you operate in your purpose in service of others and to impact people well, money takes care of itself.
Perfect. Yeah, that definitely helps kind of set that boundary in my mind of what that looks like. And I'm really happy to say that I feel like Cami and I, the way that we run BizBash just gives me so much joy and purpose in my life because a lot of what we do, Kristen, is helping other creatives in this field. Mm-hmm. So the biggest thing we have actually is our membership. And that has been so fun because not only do people get access to all of these resources, but they actually get to hop into the Facebook group with us. And when I get to be in the Facebook group with people and answering questions and interacting with them, like our followers, our members, and seeing how it helps them, it gives me so much joy. And like the money that they paid to be there, you're right. It does kind of feel like this extra like friendly gift of like, here you go. Here's an extra gift that that just like makes everything better.
Exactly. It's what you have so much joy. Again, it's what you would probably be talking about anyways.
Yeah, it's so true. Okay, so this is like a random kind of side tangent, you guys, but it kind of goes what you were saying, Kristen, about like, oh, like people will ask you what you're good, like tell you what you're good at, kind of thing, and like the money will kind of follow. And literally, I remember Elizabeth, I had someone DM me being like, I really need help with an Instagram caption. You're so good at puns. Can you just help me come up with a caption for this photo? And I was like, okay, and like gave this girl a caption, and then she literally Venmoed me like $10, and I didn't ask to be paid or anything like that. But it's just like such an example of people seeing what you're good at and being like, oh, she's the go-to girl for that, and the money just kind of came. I wasn't asking for it. I mean, that's a very small example, but I feel like it aligns with what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's an exchange of value. You solved the problem. She thanked you with money.
Yeah, there you go. It's as simple as that, you guys.
I know. I'm like, maybe you just need to open up like a pun suggestion box on your website, right?
Oh my gosh. I know. Seriously, now I'm like, that could just be my business now. Just writing punny Instagram captions, but
So, Kristen, I think like the really hard truth for a lot of us to try to wrestle with is it even possible to have a successful business without serving your purpose first?
I think there's a couple things there. I would say, what does successful mean? Who's defining success? If it's, making a lot of money, the answer is yes. You can have a successful business without serving from your purpose. Can you have a joyful business that you feel genuinely excited for each day without your purpose? I don't think so. And this is where business owners, you can be successful, but eventually you will hit burnout. Eventually you will start to resent the business you created because it was never really created from that purposeful place. So yes, you can have success, but at the end of the day, it's not going to feel as meaningful or as rewarding to you.
Agreed.
How can we as business owners keep that purpose front of mind, like, and making sure that is what's guiding all of our business decisions? Do you have insight on how to just keep that like really solid as our perspective?
Yeah, a lot of people that I sit with and work with, I have them come up with their core values and getting really clear on, their 3 to 5 top core values and asking themselves, like kind of having it printed up in their office and asking themselves, am I still bringing those core values into my business? Am I still aligned with that? And then having a mission statement, who you serve, why, what's important for you, not like your USP, your unique selling position, but more of like, I wake up in the morning to help people see this, feel this, do this. So kind of keeping that, straightforward, have it hanging somewhere in your office. But also when you start to feel less joy, I almost would want to ask, well, have you deviated away from your purpose because you had a belief or you tried to cater to what you thought people wanted and you started to shift who you were because you thought that's what others wanted from you? And when that happens, when we are shifting ourselves to please others, we're deviating away from our purpose. We're kind of compromising, we're negotiating. And that's where we're losing sight of who we're meant to serve. And sometimes we're just listening to the wrong voices if we deviate away from our purpose.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a fine line to walk because I don't know about you, but we hear the perspective all the time of like, give the people what they're asking for. Like that's where the money is. And I think there is like some wisdom in that because it might help uncover something you didn't realize, like something about yourself that you're good at, like that girl asking Cammie for a pun, right? It didn't hurt her to like go with that. But how do you differentiate then? I guess this all comes back to like having the purpose written out, but how do you differentiate when somebody asks for something, when you should say yes and when you should say no?
Yeah.
That can be really hard in the moment.
Oh, yeah. This is where there's a great book called Essentialism by Greg McNeown. And he says, when you want to really grow and become that CEO in your business, it's about saying no to 90% of the things that come your way and yes to the 10% of things because it's your best yes. And you have to ask yourself, does this align with my core values? Does this align with my mission statement? And I have a saying where it's just because I could doesn't mean I should. And there's a lot of things I can do well, but I want to stay in the lane of what I can do great because I serve people from my best when I'm saying yes to the best.
Yep. We've talked about that before. One of our very first episodes, was all about like the art of saying no. I think that's what we called it, right, Cammie?
Yeah, I was trying to remember the title, but I think that's it.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because
yeah.
I feel like creatives tend to also fall into the buckets of being people pleasers. And that's not everyone, but there is a lot of that pressure to say yes all the time, even when you end up starting to do something you hate. And Kristen, I want to hear from you too, because your little bio is so interesting to me because you've pivoted between celebrity hairstylist. I mean, like, what? I read that and I was like, whoa. And then boutique owner to business coach. And so have each of these served your purpose in a different way, or have each of these been stepping stones to discovering what your ultimate purpose is?
I would say each one aligned with a part of my purpose, but then I realized when I looked at them, it was pieces of a bigger picture that was like the perfect fit for purpose, and realizing I love human behavior. I love sales. I love communication. I love marketing. So it made so much sense. Although I had a lot of blind spots to it at the time, it made sense. Like, oh, being a coach that's deeply understanding human behavior, that's speaking into women. I've been doing that for 15 years behind a chair, just doing highlights. Now it's not highlights. Now I'm talking something else. And I tell people, I'm like, teaching marketing and sales, teaching business is where I say marketing is where creativity and psychology meet. And that's what I've been doing my whole life, is having a creative expression and meeting people, understanding human behavior and communicating. I'm like, well, that's marketing. That's business. That's being an entrepreneur, creativity, understanding human behavior, and solving a problem in the marketplace.
That's really cool. I feel like I can kind of look back, and Cammie and I actually both we did an episode too about like, what was it called, Cammie? Something about like when we were kids.
Oh, where we artsy as kids. yeah.
Yes. And we talked about like the whole journey of stepping stones throughout our lives and the funny things we did when we were younger or middle school or high school that ultimately led us to where we are today. Because I think a lot of times you can look back at your own story and you do kind of start seeing this like overarching theme, right? Like your own hero's journey. I know that sounds like so dramatic, but I can't help but like kind of think of it in that way. And Kristen, we're all about having a lot of fun around here. Do you have any like crazy stories from being a hairstylist or a boutique owner?
I have so many.
Can you please share some with us? Because I would love to hear.
Okay. There's somewhere I can't confidentiality wise, I can't say like a story about the person, and I can't even tell you like what she did, because as soon as I would say it, it'd be like a huge giveaway. So, okay. So another thing I did was I worked a ton of weddings. I probably have like 600 weddings under my belt or something insane like that. And so I remember I worked a wedding at this really bougie hotel in West Hollywood. And I remember there was just so much money at this wedding. And I remember I joke that a lot of times hairstylists become wedding planners. And for some reason, the wedding planner hadn't showed up that day. And I will never forget when the mother-in-law came in, and I really remember Overboard. Remember Goldie Hawn's like ridiculous outfits? And you're like, how is that a thing? Oh, she was straight out of Overboard. And like, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I see this massive like bling around her neck where I'm sure my jaw was on the ground. And she's like, oh, you like this? It's a Harry Winston original. I was like, what is this life I'm in right now? And then she just got plastered. And she started to take off her clothes and like run around in the hair. I was like, and
oh my gosh.
Like, I need you to handle this. And I have to say, like, that was the most high stress job of my entire life, because I had to like emotionally handle the bride who's embarrassed of her mom, who was like trying to take off her what was her, I think it was a vintage Oscar de la Renta dress. I was like, what is going on? And it was like swinging the Harry Winston necklace around. And I'm like, I'm not paid enough. I'm not paid enough to do this. And I remember like, as soon as I got the bride down the aisle, and I immediately was like, check, please, went to the downstairs hotel bar. And I was like, I'm going to need to be here for a minute.
That is a movie. I'm sorry. That's a movie. That's not real life.
Some of my craziest ones are from weddings, actually, now that I think about it.
Well, yeah, it's very high stress, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You're speaking to the masses here because so many of our listeners are in the wedding industry. We do a lot of wedding invitations and like paper design and day of goods, like seating charts and all this stuff. So people are really going to appreciate that story. And I'm actually like, I'm so thankful as a stationer that I don't have to be there the day of to like witness when things just totally go off the rails. You know, I just get to hear the fun stories later.
Yes.
Yes. I used to joke that like I should have a like bill separately for energy management, like energy in the room, making sure everybody's like even keel and cool. And, you know, that's honestly, it's what I think part of what made me a really thick skinned coach in the industry is that and who I was trained by as an apprentice back in the day. So I joke that the devil wears Prada. I'm like, oh, that was my hairstyling apprenticeship. I lived that. Okay.
I feel like you have a lot of content under your belt that could make for, like Cammie said, like great movies, great TV shows. I mean, you lived in LA for a while. You're in Colorado now, but hey, you can still write some stuff, send some scripts back to the West Coast, and make some money off of that. I'm just kidding.
People will know. They'll figure it out. They're like, oh, she's talking about me.
Yeah, just got to sneak something in there like The Help, right? It's like you put in the thing that's so embarrassing that no one will ever reveal it was them.
I had people ask me when I moved here, they're like, do you watch Desperate Housewives? I'm like, no, I lived it. When you saw those hairstylists in their bathrooms, that was me. I like had this like little housewife club in the West LA Culver City area, and I would be in their homes and just the things I saw, the things I heard. It's just like, you know, I'm surprised hairstylists aren't subpoenaed into courts more often for the things we know.
Honestly, that's genius.
Yeah, I'm totally going to keep that in mind. It's true. It's true. People like so often can overlook the people in the room, you know, that they like discount or like disregard or whatever, and they hear everything. It's like Downton Abbey, right? It's like they hear everything. All right. So thank you for that amazing tangent. I was like, I need to hear like a crazy LA story.
Well, I got lots.
That definitely cracked me up. So we'll reel it back in and let's talk a little bit about money mindset because we know this is something you really do. So can you give our listeners your top 3 tips to discovering their hidden money drama? So the things that could potentially hold them back from living out their purpose.
Yeah. So I think there's really big work to be done in the creative industry around money and our thoughts around money. And there's actually a really great book that I'd recommend to your audience by Jeff Goins. It's called Real Artists Don't Starve. And there's this mentality that creatives tend to carry around that real artists don't make money, or, you know, the broke creative, the starving artist. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So there's a lot of beliefs I think we subconsciously buy into. So the three tips to really discover your hidden money drama is, one, I think the biggest one is, how do you view debt? Is that shameful? Do you have negative feelings around it? Are you neutral around it? Do you assign permanence, or do you see it as temporary? Do you see it as a necessity, or do you see it as a problem? Like how you view debt is a huge indicator of what your beliefs are around money. And then another one is, how do you view investment? Do you believe that you have to save money to make money? Do you need to have money to make money? Those are huge barriers that you could have around your belief that really are keeping you small and stuck and not getting through that ceiling that you've been at in your business for a while, because you have this belief of, well, I don't have any money, so therefore this is where I'm at. And then another one is, how do you receive money? Like when you have, who are you in lack? Like who are you when things are tight, and who are you when things are in abundance? So if you have a great month, are you hoarding your money because you're fearful? Are you spending all of your money at once? Are you throwing it in savings and terrified to invest back into your business? Because those all say things about your money beliefs. If you're hoarding it, then you have this belief that it's not coming back, that this is you just got lucky this time. Or if you spend it all, that goes down to a belief about your worthiness around your money. And I tell people, if you don't have a healthy mindset about money, when you make a lot of money, if you have not seen wealth and money as like a positive, healthy, good thing, you are going to self-sabotage your way to a place of at an income or a bank account level that you feel deserving of. So if you don't feel deserving, worthy, or any of those things around money, then you're going to, even if you have a great month, you're going to sabotage it all. So if you believe that you are only worthy of $5K a month income and you have a $10K month, you're going to go blow $5K on something because your brain doesn't know how to process the abundance and work with that in a healthy way. So just asking those three monies, those three questions, the three monies, asking those three questions, like, who am I in lack? Who am I in abundance? And how do I view debt? What are my feelings around money?
And can you tell us again, what was the book at the beginning of that? You had recommended a book. Could you say that once more for our listeners?
I'm actually going to recommend two. Real Artists Don't Starve by Jeff Goins. And that's a great book for helping a creative understand like the essential parts of becoming a master in your trade, but also breaking through some beliefs you might have around that. And then another one that was huge for me was by Kate Northrup called Money, a Love Story. And she actually walks you through great questions to help you script out and understand how your money story was formed. And I will tell you it was deeply transformative for me.
Okay, I am definitely going to read the one by her because I'm trying to figure out all of that too, totally. And I find that like my husband and I are definitely like good savers and we like put stuff away, but then I can get like really nervous or fearful in situations that involve spending it. Mm-hmm. So kind of how to like confront that emotion and understand that. And I have to say too, like I'm a big fan of like finance and money books like written by women as well, because like I've been to the library section for finance. It's like, it's like mostly stuff by men. And so it's like when I can find a good book by like a woman about money and mindset and business, I'm like all for it.
Oh, you'll love it.
Yeah, not to say the other ones don't have value, because they totally do. Like some of my very favorite books on business and just like life in general are like written by men. But the fact that you have a finance book by a woman makes me so happy.
Yeah, she's great. She brings and she actually talks about her own money story and how she kind of grew up around a lot of money, but put herself in a ton of debt, and how she felt insecure around money, especially around financial advisors full of men. So she comes from a really empowering place for women. It's a great, great book.
That makes me happy. That's exciting. And we'll have to link them as well for our listeners, so that they can click on those if they want to read them, if they want to purchase them. So thanks for those, Rex.
Mm-hmm.
Cami, do you have anything? I was going to go ahead and ask if you had anything to add.
Yes, I do. So Kristen, too, with these, I'm calling them the three monies because you said that, and I just think it's cute. So with the three monies, do you think this affects the way we price our services and our offerings? Mm-hmm. Because I know that is a huge struggle for our creative industry of people being like, oh, I don't want to charge too much. And we are huge proponents of charging your worth and putting a higher price point on things that, value-based pricing instead of time-based pricing. How do you think the three monies really affect the pricing strategies in business?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it absolutely affects the pricing model. I think it's really important, though. Charging your worth is a thing, but I would also say also build a demand that justifies the worth as well. So building a demand, building a strong word of mouth, making sure your service is wanted, getting that, so I say in the beginning, I'm like, yes, if you want to undercharge in the beginning to really gain traction and get a word of mouth, and then start scaling your pricing based on your demand and then keep going, it's economics. But if someone is having money drama around their offer, they're projecting their own feelings about money onto people that are paying them. They're assuming if I feel this way around money, then everybody else who's paying me must feel this way around money. But that's not the case. That's where you're projecting your own beliefs onto your audience, and it's causing you to show up less powerfully in the marketplace, where really it's an exchange of value. Again, people thank you by solving their problems with their money. Big problem, big money. Good value. Be an excellent problem solver.
Oh, I love this. I really just wanted you to break that down, and I love the way you worded it and everything, because that is just something I feel like we're always trying to explain and stress, but this is perfect with that. So thank you.
Yeah.
Hey there, fellow stationers. Are you creating custom invitations and still sending a lackluster contract that's hacked together with Google searches and generic templates? We've got you.
We've created a custom stationery contract written for stationers by stationers, and it is lawyer reviewed and approved. #legal rockstar. The custom stationery contract template covers every stationery snafu, protects you and your client's interests, and sets up an expectation of professionalism. We've combined our previous contracts as well as years of experience to bring you a contract that covers your booty and your biz. Become a put-together pro and breathe a sigh of relief knowing that you have a contract that is easy to understand and avoids confusing legal jargon.
The custom stationery contract template is only $297, which is much less than what you can expect to pay anywhere else, and it's written by two gals who have seen it all.
Spoiler alert, it's us.
It's time to do things right. Go to bizbirthdaybash.com/contract to purchase and download your copy today. And as a special treat, use code PODCAST2020 to get $20 off. And that's podcast all caps 2020 to get $20 off.
Woohoo!
Okay, wonderful. We kind of only have a few more things left to discuss here. I feel like we've made amazing headway. And I know that part of your story as well is you went from struggling in your business to making 300 grand or 30 grand per month. Excuse me. 300 would be awesome too, but 30 grand per month is already awesome. So what made this difference for you in the end?
I really had to I sat with the identity of somebody that makes 20K, 30K a month. And I asked myself on a daily basis before money ever showed up in the account is what would that version of myself do? How would she talk about her business? How would she talk about her service? How would she treat her clients? And I showed up every day as if that was the money I was making. And instead of show up for the paycheck you want, not the paycheck you have. So I really just got very clear on if I was making 20K, 30K a month, how would I think and feel about the situation? Oh, I wouldn't put any more time or energy there because I put my energy elsewhere. Oh, I wouldn't get all caught up in this, or, oh, I would speak about this and show up in this way. So it was really about my being so that informed my doing.
Yeah, that's good. I love that.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's very easy to get stuck in the mindset, that we're just always small potatoes with our business. But when you already have that different mindset instilled where you just project this confidence. And I think that's a huge struggle that we have as small business owners is we don't have the confidence a lot of times. So when you're already thinking ahead to what your future could look like, it automatically brings that confidence with you. So you don't have to struggle with it anymore, which is great.
Yeah. And that was actually taught to me when I started. Remember the whole Devil Wears Prada. As an assistant, I had this salon owner that trained some of the top people in the industry. And one day he looked at me, he's like, you need to change your outfit. I want to see you come in with lipstick every day. I don't care if you have to wear the same outfit every day, but you need to dress like a hairstylist that's making six figures because these people are coming and spending $100 a haircut, which was a ton in 2008. And he's like, and you need to dress the part. When she comes in, she doesn't know that you don't have a bunch of other clients, but she needs to feel that her experience, it matches who you're being. And I took it to heart and that's what I did. And I had another friend who was apprenticing at the same time, or a new stylist. And she showed up with her hair in a messy bun and makeup mascara smudge from the clubbing the night before. And I built faster than she did. We show up differently when we act as our highest selves.
That is fascinating because I love it from that psychology perspective, because I think a lot of people would be like, no, he can't tell me what to do. I get to live my life. I get to make my choices. And instead you decided to take a moment, think about what he was saying, even if he didn't necessarily deliver it kindly to you, and understand the power behind the suggestion, which is really great, because I know me, I'm quick to get defensive when somebody makes a suggestion or when somebody says I should act a certain way or dress a certain way or do something a certain way. And even with client feedback, I've realized it can be a hard pill to swallow when somebody is telling you, can you do this different? Or can we take this approach? But what I've realized is it it just kind of makes my work better. Like I just sent photos to Cami earlier today where it was like, I was like, this is what I did for her first. This is what I did after I got the feedback. And guess which one I like better? I like the one better after I got the feedback. So it's just funny how it works out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Do you have any final things you want to say to our audience today before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I can give a challenge based on like what I just said about like dressing for the job you want. I actually ran a really fun challenge in my Facebook group not too long ago where I challenged everybody to dress up, even if they weren't going anywhere. And this was before the whole COVID-19 thing. And in the day and age where we're doing a ton of Zooms right now and video chats, it's really easy for you to want to wear yoga pants or pajama bottoms. I want to challenge you for a week to like wash your hair, dress up, put on makeup. I wore heels doing a live the other day. No one saw them, but we show up differently. And what was interesting was the challenge I ran for that. Every girl that participated in that challenge had an increase in her income because she showed up differently.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh. I mean, I do always tell Elizabeth, I'm like, my secret productivity weapon is when I put on shoes. Like if I'm not wearing shoes, if I'm barefoot in my house, I get nothing done. But then I go put on shoes and it's like a flip switches. So I'm going to take it to the next level and put on my fancy high heels. And who knows what will happen. So I love this challenge. We're doing it, everybody. So be ready.
I know. I agree. I love that you said that, Kristen. It's so funny. Cami and I will get like little ideas for challenges from people who come on the podcast. And I love it because it keeps us like moving. It keeps us like on our toes. And it's so funny you mentioned that because I feel exactly the same way. Like just the days even where I wear jeans, and put on jeans instead of leggings. And I've known this because Cami and I have both worked home for many years now. And this is what I keep trying to tell my friends who have suddenly been forced to work at home. And I'm like, literally the best thing you can do is like shower, do your makeup, and get dressed.
Yes.
I swear.
Yes.
I'm like, just do it. You'll feel so much better. I promise. And it's hard when for someone who's thrown into that situation, who's never encountered working from home before, to feel any motivation to do it, but it makes a world of difference. So yeah, that challenge is definitely happening.
Love it.
I'm gonna impress the mailman when he sees me next time. He's gonna be like, "Oh dang!" Oh gosh. Okay.
Kristen, tell us about your Facebook group and where we can find you.
Yeah, you can learn more about me on my website, www.kristenboss.com. I also have an amazing Facebook community. It is free, and I'm always in there just dropping fire content, good truths, trainings, tips, and tools. It's called Becoming Boss. It's free. I treat it like a paid community, but free. And all my girls in there will tell you my content is spicy. I don't pull back anything. I'm all about truths and really helping elevate women and their business at home. It's a super fun place to be.
Yeah, I just clicked the link now because I'm about to jump in there. Like,
get in
ASAP.
there.
I'm all about some spice and some hot sauce. Let's do this. Perfect. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying this episode, be sure to leave us a rating review on iTunes. It helps us so much, and we can keep bringing on spicy, saucy, awesome people like Kristen Boss, the boss lady. That's not her business, right?
TM.
You're hearing all about the monies. So yeah, leave us a review. We really appreciate it, you guys. And Kristen, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was
my pleasure.
Very insightful. And I know our audience is going to love it. And they're just going to be thinking about everything. And they're going to be so dressed up while doing it. And it's going to be fantastic. So.
Love it.
Thank you, Kristen. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.